Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name's Samantha, this is the Budget Mum UK, and today we're talking about a no spend year, a no spend challenge, and what exactly that might mean for you or for me. Basically, there's always a really good push in January for people to really focus on their spending after having a really, I would say, quite a financially tying December with Christmas and everything around that. A lot of people are really aware of how much they might have spent and really got a new focus on their finances. So there's a challenge called the No Spend Challenge, and some people try and do it for a year, some people try and do it for a month, some people might want to do it for a different amount of time, they might be a bit more strict than others. But what we're going to do today is take a look at exactly what that might mean for you, what it's going to mean for me, and how you can use the challenge to financially boost yourself, save yourself a little bit of money, and maybe put some towards a debt or towards a goal that you might have been working towards for some time. Come on in. Alright, so if you are new here, this channel is for you if you are into all things to do with financing, budgeting, cash envelope stuffing, savings, and lots of other things to do with money as well. I have my own system in place. I've got a current debt of £5,000 and I'm giving myself a goal of just 6 months to get rid of that £5,000. I have a video coming out in a couple of days about how I plan on doing that and what my next 6 months is going to look like financially. But I thought with planning that, this video would be a really good place to start. Because basically I am going to be doing the no spend challenge myself. But I'm going to be doing it for just 6 months for now. I say for now because if you are already following my channel, you'll know that I actually don't have a lot of outgoings in terms of free willy-nilly kind of money. I don't have a lot of fluid money. I don't do a lot of socializing. I still have those envelopes. I still have things like clothing that I spend towards, but I don't spend a lot anyway. Previously, I've done similar no spend challenges just on a personal level, and what you find is that you become quite mindful of your spending. You become more accountable, you become more frugal, so that when your challenge is lifted, you will probably find that you've got a new learned behaviour. You know, like anything else, you become more mindful of the fact that actually, I didn't need that for the last 6 months, 3 months, however long you're challenging yourself for. So why do I need it now? It's important to remember though that your challenge should not be too restrictive and it should be your rules. Okay, so what works for one person might not necessarily be relevant or work for somebody else. So for example, if I give myself a no spend on coffee, well, that would be very easy because I don't drink coffee. I don't go to Starbucks. I don't go to Cafe Nero, apart from when it's free hot chocolate day. But other than that, I don't drink those hot drinks. So that would be a pointless no spend challenge for myself. However, things like maybe throwing some sweets in the bag at the end of doing your grocery shopping might be something that you want to become more accountable for and say, look, I'm not doing that for the next 6 months. I'm going to mindfully go, actually, no, step away. I'm just going to buy what I need and that's that. If you think your weak area is clothing, then make that your no spend challenge. I know lots of people who curse themselves for nipping into B&Ms. Do you nip into B&Ms? Because I know lots of people who nip into B&Ms and then seem to come out £100 lighter. I purposely no longer go in B&Ms for that very reason. Things for me is like craft stores. I could go into a craft store, The Works, Hobbycraft, even somewhere like The Range where they've got all the craft things, and I could easily throw everything in my basket and walk away very happy, and it would sit in my art area, and it has done. Like, I could show you all my art collection, and yeah, it's just impossible. So by mindfully staying away from those things, then you are able to be successful. So what we're going to look at, first of all, is we're going to look at 5 main areas to help you with your no spend. And then I'm going to focus on my no spend and what that means for me and what I'm choosing to do no spend on. Okay, so the first thing is be clear about what your rules are. That would be my number one. What are your rules? You could have a fluctuation in the rules. So say, for example, if you decide to have a no spend on clothing, but then you manage to have a declutter, spend quite a bit of time on something like eBay or wherever else, manage to sell some of your clothes, and then you've got a bunch of cash, then maybe you could say, well, actually, I've made that money by decluttering. I'm therefore allowed to make a purchase. That could be a rule. It might not be, but it could be. Or, for example, you might say, do you know what? I'm having a no coffee date apart from once every month when I catch up with my friend who I don't get to see otherwise. And that could just be your one-off exclusive. You might want to be more strict with yourself than that, and that's okay as well. It's your rules, and you've just got to be mindful of those, set them out, and if you share them with your family, your friends, if you become accountable for them, they will then hopefully motivate you on, encourage you, and remind you, just if they see any sort of slippage, if you like, then hopefully that will help you along the way too. The next thing to be aware of is your triggers. So I've already briefly touched on them. So maybe if you know by going in Home and Bargain, you're going to spend £100, stay away from Home and Bargain. If you know you're likely to go out and have a big binge on chocolate or sugar or something when you're having a really rubbish day, be mindful of that trigger and go, look, it's not going to be the case right now. It's not going to be the case anymore. If you know when it's payday, you like to go out and go for a big meal or go for lots of drinks or like to go and buy a new pair of shoes, whatever it is, then know that's your trigger. Be ready for it when it comes to payday. Make plans to do something else, okay? Or purposely move the money straight away into a savings account somewhere you can't touch it. Just a thought. You need to do whatever works for you. The next thing that you need to think about is to have a look around your home. Sometimes you can walk in your house and no longer see the things that are there. By doing something simple as having a room shift around, a change about, something like that, you might rediscover something that you thought you wanted and was going to go and buy, and actually you already had. It might mean a different colour or a different style, but if you have a big stock take, if you like, have a look around, see what's there, and with that in mind, it then leads us into our next one, which is decluttering. Decluttering and minimising everything in your home. Minimalism has a really good association with money. Okay, so by living frugally and minimally, you're not spending willy-nilly on rubbish that you do not need. I need to take my own advice. I have just finished a massive declutter over the last few days. And I say declutter in the terms of just a tidy, really, just because everything just always seems so crazy with Christmas. But as I've tidied, I just feel like there's too much in my house. There's too much in my house. I know I've got a 1-year-old, and that sort of automatically makes your house feel untidy. It does for me anyway. There are toys everywhere, but I have a nightmare for if somebody puts on Facebook Marketplace, such and such is going for free, I'm like, I want that. I need that. I do not need that. I know I don't need that. And I end up with so many toys. I tried to do a declutter of toys before Christmas, and obviously you get Christmas toys, and then somebody was giving away Iggle Piggle and Mickey Mouse and all the other things that my little boy loves. And I just went and picked those up. Why? Why did I do that? He needs one Mickey Mouse and one Iggle Piggle. He's now got several. So I'm my own worst enemy, but I am going to be documenting some of those things that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing this along with you guys. So you can watch me on my journey and you can be my accountability, if you like. That would be great. So have a bit of a minimalistic approach. Get rid of things you do not need. You can sell something and make some money as well, which will go towards your debt or towards your saving or whatever it is. My fifth and final thing is sleep on it. If you are one of those that goes for impulse buying, if you see something, you've got to have it straight away. Take a walk around the block. go to bed, come back and visit it the next day? Does it still look amazing? Then come back and visit it the next week. Does it still look amazing and incredible? The odds are, if you can talk yourself into just walking away for a day or a week or even 30 days, then you'll be able to say to yourself, do you know what? I've managed it this long without it. I can manage it full stop. I do not need that impulse buy. So, what are going to be my rules for my no spend? My budget is already really quite minimal. At the moment, I do have a clothing envelope, but I'm going to be getting rid of that. And well, let me explain. I'm not getting rid of that. I will be doing, as I mentioned earlier, selling on lots of my unwanted clothes, or Alexander's got loads as well. So the money will be going back into the clothing envelope, but it won't be for me. It will be for Alexander or for Holly, my daughter. So obviously they're growing and they are changing all the time and they have a need for clothes. I do not, at least not for the 6 months. I already packed away all my summer clothes so that when I get to warmer weather, I can unpack those and it'll be kind of like having a new wardrobe, which could be another tip for something else that you might want to do. So it feels like you've got a brand new set of clothes every 6 months anyway, as the seasons change. So that's going to be my focus for clothing. I don't need anything. The next thing that I'm going to be avoiding is spending on food or drinks or just going out. In terms of socialising, I'm going to be asking friends if they'd like to come here or if I can go and visit them. I know it's not always practical, I know it's not always possible, but for the next 6 months, I've got to get rid of this debt. It's only 6 months. It's like being on a diet. If I want to make a change, I'm going to have to stick to it and do it that way. I'm not saying I'm not going to see my friends, but there's some lovely parks around here. We can go for walks. There's, my kitchen's quite available. They're very welcome to come and visit me here, and which would make it a lot easier with having a little one as well. So that's going to be in there. I'm not going to be just doing any random buy. I'm not going to be going out shopping. I don't tend to do anyway. In terms of gifts, I've actually got quite a stockage now in my present cupboard. And I'm going to be sort of using that as much as possible. However, in terms of my nieces and my own children, if it's a birthday or if they're invited to birthday parties, I'm obviously not going to be not buying them a present to take, because that's not really fair. It's my no spend, not theirs, if you like. So they can still have money for that. So I'm going to be putting a much smaller amount in my gifts envelope. Now, in order to make this succeed as well, I have studied my annual calendar for like the next year. I know when I've got big dates coming up, and to be honest, the beginning of the year, apart from Alexander's birthday, my brothers and my nieces, literally all in the same 2 days, there's very little else going on. Most birthdays at the end of the year, and with Christmas and everything else. I'm not planning on going away, so that'll be saving money from that, but after 6 months, I would like to think I can start putting money back in towards a holiday fund. I just feel I need to be this strict now, because it's not going away quickly enough for my liking, and I'm hoping by doing this no spend, it puts you into a really good mindset and I will be able to eradicate that debt as quickly as possible. So that is my challenge. 6 months, no spend. I think we can do this. If you would like to come along on the journey, if you want to be accountable and give me a message below and join us on this, absolutely love it if you consider subscribing. If it's something that you've already thought on doing, then definitely come along with us. It'll be fantastic. Let me know if you've got your own channel that is doing a similar sort of thing. I'd love to follow on with what you're doing, follow your journey. I'll come and check you out as well. Thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day. Bye.